How's it going, guys? And I'm here to talk about CM Punk's debut in AEW. And before I get started, let me address something about my my CM Punk Daniel Bryan video on AEW with a bunch of people, commenting just like on my AEW sucks, will suck video, the one that I did right before AEW launched. I said that they were going to suck. It was, going to end up being a bust. And, a lot of that is quite true, I still feel. I don't think it was everything that it was hyped up to be. And people said, I still have to this day, years later, this video aged poorly. 3 years later, people still commenting this stuff to me. And, and the thing is, it's like ridiculous because it's not like it's this giant success. And when I posted that video about CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, I never said you could go and you could watch that video for however many minutes it was. I never once said that either guy would never debut. I said that the dirt sheets and the fans need to stop this nonsense of posting every single, thing they could find, every single story and every little bit of news. Basically what the dirt sheets did is they took 20% of the truth and they embellished on it. They didn't know what the fuck was going on, but, Dave Meltzer, all these people, they kept on rolling with this story and they had no new information. They were saying, he's going to debut on this night. They said he's going to debut on the first episode of Rampage. No, he debuted in the second episode of Rampage. They got it all wrong. He debuted, so Dave Meltzer, he told the truth, technically, somewhat, from a certain perspective, but he got everything else wrong, just like all the other doofuses. But anyway, let's get to the debut. So, CM Punk starts this show off, huge, massive reaction. Everyone's going crazy, people crying, it's just, a little bit overblown. Man, back during the Attitude Era when Jericho debuted, massive response for him. Were people crying? Oh my God, I'm so happy. People out there in the crowd, I didn't see this guy, but there's this image going around, and some people are making it into a positive meme, and people are then also making it into a negative meme with this guy crying his eyes out. Now, I didn't see him there in the footage that was rolling, but I guess they had some, some other footage of this guy, or they caught him on camera crying his eyes out. And over in the Wrestling Gods forum on Facebook, I says, guys, this guy probably has children, and he probably didn't even cry at their birth. But he's crying at the debut of CM Punk. And I'm like, look, guys, I'm a CM Punk fan. I don't really care about CM Punk getting knocked out in the UFC. You even saw when that happened. Punk got paid close to $1 million or something like that. Didn't he get paid $700,000 to just, he basically, just got a little beat up. Got knocked out quick, didn't get hurt bad, and that was it. And he made off like a bandit. Made more money than most people would ever see in a lifetime, just by doing a few fights. So I'm not gonna hate on the guy, but yeah, great reaction from this guy. This is the people. See, people are looking at this reaction. And and they're interpreting it just like the guy crying in the meme, oh my God, this guy is so over, he's making people cry. And people were actually saying that this guy represented them. And I'm like, if that guy represents you, then you need to take a walk in the bathroom right now. If you heard me say that and that resonated with you, and you got triggered by me saying that was a bad thing, you need to go into the bathroom right now, look at yourself in the mirror, and ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Honestly, seriously, if you're crying over CM Punk, seriously? Crying over CM Punk? First of all, you've seen this guy before. CM Punk, and a lot of wrestlers can attest to this, he's not the nicest guy. I'm going to seriously tell you that right now. He's not the nicest guy. You could see that. I've been to Ring of Honor shows. The guy is like super sarcastic and everything. You know, not saying he's a bad guy or anything, but he doesn't love you. You know, CM Punk is the guy that if you interrupt him while he's eating at a restaurant, he's going to tell you to go fuck off. And he's like said this stuff on a number of occasions. Those people in the crowd, he doesn't like these people. So let's get to the promo. So of course he kicks it off with the simp queen, Britt Baker. Oh, you know, thanks for that warm Britt Baker welcome. Like, honestly, like I know they're trying to get this girl over, and they, you know, Punk probably slipped that in there to help her. You know, maybe he likes her work or whatever. But this Britt Baker nonsense and men wearing Britt Baker T-shirts. Seriously, honestly, the same thing with the people that, you know, resonated with that guy, you know, crying during the entrance. You need to seriously do the same thing. Go back into the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror and say, what the fuck is wrong with me? Honestly. Anyway, back to the promo, guys. So CM Punk, you know, he does this whole thing, you know, pandering, because, you know, he's being a baby face and everything, and you know, Punk he's fine as a babyface. He's really good as a heel, but he can do either or. I've seen it. You know, he's successful as but you know, I prefer the guy as a heel. And of course, you know, they could have swerved everybody and had him tell the crowd to go fuck themselves, and it would have been awesome. But of course, he's got to do this really sappy, dappy promo here. You know, I heard CM Punk chants. You know, and he's like, I heard you guys. That's why I'm here. No, Punk, you know what? I think you heard another sound. Cha-ching! It was the sound of Tony Khan's endless checkbook. That doofus, that goofy, maloofy, clownish buffoon, he's probably writing so many zeros at the end of that check. Your eyes are like, you know, in the Looney Tunes, like cash registers with the dollar signs. And I can't blame you. Take advantage of that moron and milk him for all he's worth. Because that's what the business is all about. It's not about making fans happy. Hooray! You know, maybe it is to Tony Khan, but it's really about these guys making money. Making money for their families. CM Punk making money for his wife and all that. You know, like, honestly, it's not back for you goofballs as much as you want to believe that. So he talks about, you know, he does the Indian style sitting in the ring, and, you know, I really thought about this, you know, why he did that. Because that is like the most over thing with the Smarks, and I'm like, you know, I knew right away what it represented, but I'm like, that promo really was one of the most overrated promos. And quite frankly, I kind of really sort of dislike that promo now. Now, not that it was a bad promo, but, you know, the What Culture guys and everybody, you know, always prop that promo up like this was the greatest thing since sliced bread. But, like, honestly, like, they make like this was the greatest thing that they've ever heard in their lives. Some people went so far as saying it was one of the best promos ever. Like, totally erasing every single promo you heard from Hogan, from Macho Man, from Ric Flair, from The Rock, from Stone Cold Steve Austin, from Mick Foley. All those promos out the window. CM Punk, because he did a little work shoot promo, that was, you know, that right there was the top of the mountain, the greatest thing ever. And I have to ask, like, really, are you insane if you believe that? You know, well, you know, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm just saying, like, if you're like a wrestling fan and you appreciate good promos, is that like all that you want in your promo? It's like, oh, he mentioned something about a guy that got released. Oh, he said something about Vince McMahon dying and his son taking over, and he said something about Stephanie. Meanwhile, all these people let him cut that promo, and they pushed him afterwards. So it's like you all believed that this was more of a shoot than a work shoot promo. And you actually thought that Punk was going rogue there. And, oh, he really got one over on McMahon. Like, meanwhile, McMahon is giving him the platform to cut this promo. You know, I'm just saying it's just an overrated promo. Really going back and you really dissect that promo, it's nothing phenomenal, really, at all. Like, the delivery was good, but aside from that, like, the content, you look at it now in retrospect, and it really is not that stimulating. Anyway, so, cuts this promo. He says that, you know, after leaving Ring of Honor, he felt quite sad, and he felt like he left professional wrestling after this, and now he's back in professional wrestling. You know, taking a shot at WWE for being sports entertainment and everything, and, you know, he worked it in there. He worded a certain way where he basically said that he talked about him working hurt. He said like he was sick and all this. You know, he's talking about like the infection and all that. And, you know, here's the thing. CM Punk was treated very well and made quite a bit of money. And I understand that they made him work hurt. You know, they made him work hurt. Something very hard about saying that. You know, they made him work hurt. Like for many months, and with Ryback back in 2013, and the guy was unhappy and all that. But, you know, like, this guy has told this story 1,000 times. I think almost everyone who's still around that watches wrestling has heard it by this point. Especially these, you know, super marks in the crowd. They heard it, you know, especially if they're crying for Punk. They tuned in to the Colt Cabana podcast, and they heard you know, bitching and moaning about this for years and years and years and years and years. Okay, we get it. But also WWE paid you a shitload of money. So it's like I kind of sort of don't really feel that bad, like a lot of these people. You know, the thing is, they've helped a lot of people. We talked about rehab. We've talked about spinal surgeries. All being paid for on McMahon's dime. Just because, you know, Punk was that one of those guys that, you know, didn't get the help he was looking for. Some reason, you know, now Vince McMahon is totally 100% evil. Not that this guy is, you know, Mother Teresa or anything. We talked about this in the past, but, you know, he's not the worst. He has done some good for some of the wrestlers. I'm just saying. But whatever. So anyway, he says that he's here to work with the best talent in the world, and here he is, and he's not going anywhere, and he's going to be on Dynamite and all this, and he challenges Darby Allin of all people, the only name that he says. So we waited 7 years for CM Punk to come back to face this skinny guy with face paint, skateboarding, stuntman, totally overrated by the marks, by the smarks, by everyone, you know, that watches this crap every single week. And this is who he's wrestling. CM Punk wrestling Triple H. CM Punk wrestling The Rock. CM Punk wrestling Brock Lesnar. CM Punk wrestling Rey Mysterio. Top-notch opponents. You know, some of the best ever. So that was CM Punk. That's who he was wrestling. Now, he's wrestling Darby Allin. This is the match that CM Punk is going to wrestle for his first match back. Wow. And this promo, like, okay, you know, he's pandering and everything, and that's just fantastic and great and, you know, also special. But, like, people are saying that this was an amazing moment. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to undersell it so I could be mean to the AEW fans. I'm happy to see Punk, but, like, kind of I don't care. It's been 7 years. You know, Punk, he's good. I'm a fan, but, like, you know, Darby Allin, you know, trying to do this, like, subpar version of the pipe bomb promo. I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's like a pandering promo. You people want to talk about, oh, John Cena panders. What the hell was Punk doing? I heard you guys chanting my name, and here I am. What? Like, you're honestly gonna get on Cena for that shit, but you're gonna get, like, because that's what it's all about in AEW. When WWE does it, it's the worst thing ever. We gotta get Vince out of there, guys. When they do it in AEW, it's the best thing ever. Like Big Show Wrestling, they're chanting at the 2015 Royal Rumble, "Please retire," right? Same bunch of smarks, same bunch of disrespectful smarks. Here they are in AEW. Yay, we love you, Big Show. We love you, Paul White. Hooray, legend. Like, do you guys see the hypocritical nature of this now? I get it. I understand what they're doing. They are basically saying here that, like, I want to build up this promotion because I'm a fan of this, and I hate WWE, and I hate Vince McMahon, and I hate John Cena, and I hate everything that has to do with WWE, and I hate that they're the establishment, the global leader of professional wrestling and sports entertainment, and I want the alternative to be the best. When the simple fact of the matter is Impact Wrestling was like 10 times better than this shit. Especially if you guys go back and you watch, you know, you watch some of these Impacts when Vince Russo was there. Some of the Asylum, before Impact it was even a thing. Some of these NWA TNA pay-per-views. You watch a lot of these different things that had big stars there. Way bigger stars than you're seeing here. Sting was, Sting was way closer to his prime than he is now. So I don't understand, like, where people are coming from on this. And you had all the great Scott Steiner material. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no comparison. All right, listen to a Scott Steiner promo from TNA and hear this any day out of the week. And you're praising this like this is like the best shit ever. Come on now. Like, honestly, are you really going to fool yourself into getting pumped up? Man, I'm so hyped for Darby Allin versus CM Punk. Woo! Are you really that excited for that match? Because to me, that just... it sounds like, okay, like, it could be a good match, like, it could be fun to watch. But seriously, like, after CM Punk's been in there with all these big stars in WWE, like, we were up here wrestling John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011, wrestling The Rock at the Royal Rumble, these big-time matches, and now we're all the way down here. Like at toenail level, subterranean levels with Darby Allin, the indie darling Darby Allin, the Misfits wannabe Darby Allin, the Vampiro wannabe Darby Allin, Sting's little buddy Darby Allin. Come on. So overall, I'm not saying that this was bad or anything like that. I think it would be kind of foolish if I did say that with the big reaction and everything, but like, you're overrating this. This is a niche audience, if I ever did see one, of the most rabid smarks out there. This is not going to move the needle. This is not going to change the ratings. They might get a few 100,000 extra people, 200,000, 300,000, but they're not going to be big players now because of one guy that couldn't even move the needle for WWE. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying it was his fault. Not at all. Some people might say that, but I'm not going to do that just to make a point. I'm just saying he's not at that level to move the needle. Roman Reigns is great, but he's not moving the needle. There's more that has to be done than just by having good roster and good wrestlers and people who are good at cutting promos. There has to be a show that something happens with those characters. See, that's the key right there. And they're not doing that. And there's a lot of this talk about how they're telling these clear and concise stories what Chris Jericho is saying, and I'm like, what the fuck? What stories are they even talking about? There isn't even a story here with CM Punk. Cuts this promo at the beginning and he's gone for the rest of the show. I was thinking about maybe reviewing this episode of Rampage to completion, but I was like, what the fuck's the point? It was CM Punk, and then it was back to business as usual with all the usual boring, lame shit that they normally do in AEW. I'm not going to waste my time with that, especially with SummerSlam tonight. And you know, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a SmackDown review. It's kind of getting late as I'm doing this, so I might just jump right into SummerSlam. And yeah, that's basically it. So I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you agree with what I had to say here, please let me know in the comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all notifications when I post all my new videos. I want to thank all my patrons for your continued support. And thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time.